Today, we're going to start a paper collage inspired by the artwork of Henri Matisse. You'll need scissors, a background paper, some smaller scrap papers, and glue. When you are cutting out your shapes for the collage, something to keep in mind is the more your shape looks like a circle, the easier it'll be to cut it out, and the further it is from a circle, the harder it'll be. I'll show you what I mean. Here I have three different shapes. This one is not quite a circle, but it's the most like a circle. And to cut it out, I'm just going to hold it with my non-scissor hand, and using my scissors carefully, I'm going to slowly cut around this shape. Now, you get to choose as the artist if you want to draw your shapes out before cutting them. If you are drawing, though, you'll use a pencil. I've used a marker only so that you can actually see my lines show up. The circle is pretty straightforward to cut, but I'm still being slow and careful so I can do my best job. Any little tiny scraps I make, I'm going to push to the middle of the table, and we'll deal with those at the end of class. Now, these other shapes are organic shapes that are a little more complicated. I'm still going to cut slowly, but you'll notice I'm actually turning the paper with my other hand. My scissors are staying in one place and not moving, other than opening and closing. I'm not turning the scissors, I'm turning the paper. If you've never cut like this before, it might feel really weird at first, but it'll help give you skills that'll make you more precise and accurate in the future. Again, I can push my scraps to the middle so that they are out of the way. And I'm just going really slowly so that I can do my best job. This last shape is the least like a circle and would be the hardest to cut out, but I can do it if I go really slow. What I want to make sure of is that I'm using the other hand to do the turning. My scissors are staying in one spot and opening and closing. It's the other hand that pulls and pushes the paper to turn it. If I have a spot that I think is going to be really hard, I can ignore it at first and come back to it when there's less paper in the way. That can be a tip if there's an area that's particularly challenging. I'm going slow so that my other hand has time to move the paper and move out of the way. If it gets too small and you're being too fast, it might rip. So that's another reason that we want to go slowly, so we can unhook it like I just did and keep cutting carefully. When I'm taking my time is when I'm able to do my best work. Today, you will be working on this project for the whole class. What that means is that free draw is not an option. Your only option is to continue to cut and glue shapes for your collage. Your shapes might overlap, and that's okay. But this will give us an opportunity to practice these skills that we are working on. So today we'll work on the same thing for the whole time. We won't be free drawing today. Now that I've cut out the rest of the shape, I can come back to that spot that was harder at first, and I can just take my scissors where they need to be. And it's okay if you don't cut perfectly on the lines either. The lines were just there to give us an idea of where we wanted our scissors to go. When I'm ready to glue, and you should glue every shape right after you cut it, I just cut out 3 for some examples, we're going to want to make sure your pencil lines are actually what gets glued to the collage, so we hide them so it looks even neater. So I'm going to take my collage paper, take one of the shapes that I want to glue. I'm going to put glue on the side with the lines so that when I stick it down, I don't see the lines. The rule for glue is dot, dot, not a lot. So I'm going to put some glue on the brush, dot, dot, not a lot. Then I'll take my figure and stick it down. Then I can glue my other shapes as well. You should glue each shape as soon as you cut it. Dot, dot, not a lot. The reason you'll want to glue them after each shape is so that we have time to glue everything and you don't end up at the end of class with 50 shapes cut out and none of them glued down. So you'll cut a shape and then glue it. Dot, dot, not a lot. So if I had this scrap next and I wanted to make a shape, I could use a pencil to draw a shape. Remember, the more like a circle, the easier it'll be to cut out. Then I could cut close to the shape, put the rest of the scrap back for someone else to use, go around my shape, taking my time. I'm probably cutting faster than you might even be able to. Your goal is to be as slow and careful as you can. Remember, there's no rush. Today we're doing this for the whole class. We're not free drawing, so we want to do our very best job on this part. And then right after you cut it out, we'll glue it down. How much glue? Dot, dot, not a lot. I can even stick it down. If I wanted to, I could even overlap one of the other shapes. I think that looks pretty cool. I'm very excited to see the start of your collages today. Don't forget to also write your name on the back very neatly so that any teacher could read it. What that means is it should be just about the right size, not too big and not too little. I'm excited to see the progress on your artworks today.